Welcome to the STSC Exam Prep 2026, Part 1 full video course. Are you ready to pass your safety test and move your career forward? Stay with me, because this course will help you understand the key concepts and prepare with confidence. Each question includes explanations designed to help you build knowledge and improve your chances of passing on your first attempt. Before we begin, please share your suggestions in the comments, they help improve future lessons. Also, subscribe to the channel, and check the description below to get access to the complete course and study materials. Section 1 The Safety Trained Supervisor Construction exam focuses on understanding site safety, recognizing hazards, and creating safer workplaces. As a supervisor, your responsibility is to identify risks early, take action quickly, and help ensure every worker returns home safely each day. A strong safety culture starts with management support. Leaders must show that safety matters just as much as productivity. Workers are more likely to follow procedures when supervisors and managers lead by example. Every site should have a written safety plan that workers can easily understand. Daily inspections are important for finding hazards before they cause accidents. If you discover a problem, fix it immediately instead of waiting for someone else. OSHA standards provide the foundation for workplace safety, but companies can create stricter internal rules. Good record-keeping, inspections, and training are all essential responsibilities for supervisors. Fall protection remains one of the biggest priorities in construction. Workers at height should use guardrails, safety nets, or properly inspected harnesses. Electrical safety is equally important. Use insulated tools, inspect cords regularly, and use ground fault protection in wet environments. Personal protective equipment, including hard hats and safety glasses, must be worn correctly and replaced if damaged. Employers generally provide required safety equipment and training. Excavations and trenches must be inspected daily by a competent person. Use trench boxes, stable slopes, and keep heavy equipment away from excavation edges. Chemical safety requires understanding labels and keeping safety data sheets available. Workers should know how to handle, store, and respond to spills safely. Scaffolds, power tools, cranes, and confined spaces all require special procedures and trained personnel. Never bypass guards, ignore inspections, or enter hazardous areas without authorization and preparation. Environmental conditions also matter. Stay hydrated in heat, dress properly in cold weather, and stop work during dangerous storms. Good housekeeping prevents many injuries. Keep pathways clear, store tools properly, and remove waste regularly. Emergency readiness is also critical. Maintain first aid supplies, know evacuation procedures, and keep emergency access routes open. Finally, leadership makes the difference. Listen to your team, teach safe practices respectfully, and create a workplace where safety becomes everyone's responsibility. Subscribe now for more STSC exam prep videos, and check the description below to get the full course and continue learning. 1. What should you do first when you see a worker without a hard hat? You must tell them to put their hard hat on right away to stay safe. Hard hats protect the human head from falling objects, and wearing them is a strict rule. 2. Why do we use heavy trench boxes when digging a deep hole in the ground? We use them to stop the loose dirt from falling and crushing the workers inside. Trench boxes provide a strong wall of protection, saving lives if the surrounding dirt collapses. 3. What is the main safety purpose of a ground fault circuit interrupter on a site? It shuts off the electrical power quickly, to stop you from getting a bad shock. These special safety outlets detect power changes, and they trip fast to prevent serious electrical burns. 4. How often should a competent person inspect the personal safety gear and the heavy tools? They must check all the tools and safety gear every single day before the work begins. Daily visual checks catch broken parts early, which helps to stop accidents before they can happen. 5. What is the biggest danger that causes severe injuries on a tall building construction site? Falling from a very high place is the #1 cause of bad injuries and deaths. You must always use strong guardrails and special fall harnesses when working high up off ground. 6. Where should you store dangerous chemicals and liquids that can catch on fire very easily? You must keep them safely in special metal fire cabinets, away from any sparks or heat. Flammable items need very safe storage rooms, so a small flying spark does not start fires. 7. Who is legally allowed to build, change, or take apart a tall working scaffold structure? Only a fully trained and competent person can build or change the scaffold on the site. Scaffolds are highly complex structures, and regular unskilled workers don't know how to build them. 8. What specific important information will you find on a chemical safety data sheet in the office? It tells you exactly what the chemical is, and how to safely use or clean it. Reading this sheet is very important for everyone, because it protects your skin and lungs from harm. 9. Why must we always bend our knees down when we lift a heavy wooden cargo box? Bending your knees uses your strong leg muscles and perfectly protects your weak back from injury. Back injuries happen very often on sites, so using the right lifting method keeps you feeling healthy. 10. What should you do right away if you find a broken power saw with missing guards? You must immediately tag it so nobody uses it, and then remove it from the site. Broken electric tools are very dangerous, and putting a warning tag on them stops others from trying. 11. What does the site boss need to provide if workers are exposed to very loud noises? The boss must give them free earplugs or strong earmuffs to fully protect their hearing today. Loud, heavy machines can destroy your ears over time, so good protection stops you from going deaf. 12. Why is it very bad to leave your trash and wood scraps lying around the floor? Trash creates a dangerous tripping hazard, and it can also quickly feed a fire if one starts. Keeping the floor perfectly clean is called good housekeeping, and it is a basic important safety rule. (13) What is the very first step you take when someone falls down and breaks their leg? You must call for an ambulance right away to get them professional medical help very quickly. Fast medical action saves worker lives, so calling the emergency number is your very first important job. 14. Why do we always test the air inside a tank before a worker climbs down inside? We test it to make absolutely sure there is enough oxygen and no bad poison gas. Closed tanks can trap dangerous dead air, which makes workers dizzy or causes them to pass out. 15. Who pays the money for the hard hats and safety glasses that the workers must wear? The employer must buy most of the daily protective gear, so workers do not pay their money. The government law says companies must protect their team, which includes buying all the basic safety gear. 16. What should you do right away when you see lightning flashing in the dark, stormy sky? You must stop all the outdoor work and make everyone go inside a safe building immediately. Hot lightning can strike metal tools and tall cranes, killing a worker in just a short second. 17. How do you properly handle a worker who comes to the site smelling like cheap alcohol? You must stop them from doing their working and safely remove them from the site right now. Drunk site workers make very bad choices, putting themselves and all the other hard workers in danger. 18. Why must site managers show that they care deeply about the project safety rules every day? When managers follow the safety rules perfectly, the workers will also follow the rules much more often. A strong and safe culture starts at the top, and good leaders must set a perfect example. 19. What should the workers do immediately when they see a spill of black oil on the ground? Welcome back to the second part of our safety training course today. We are going to learn more about keeping your building site totally safe today. You must remember that safety is a team effort every single day. Let us talk about moving heavy equipment around the dirt yard safely. Big trucks and machines have huge blind spots that hide walking workers. You must always use a spotter when a large truck is backing up. The spotter helps the driver see where the big back tires are going. Workers walking on the ground must wear bright orange or green shirts. High visibility shirts help the truck drivers see everyone from far away. When you walk near machines, always make clear eye contact with the driver. If the driver cannot see your eyes, they might hit you accidentally. Never walk closely behind a heavy machine while the big engine is running. Let us discuss how to properly inspect the site before work begins. You need to walk the entire job area every single morning early. Look closely for trip hazards, spilled liquids, and broken power tool wires. If you find a broken ladder, take it away so nobody falls down. A cracked wooden ladder is a huge danger to all your working friends. Do not try to paint or tape a broken ladder to fix it. Throw the bad ladder in the trash and buy a brand new one. Next, we will look at how to manage dirt and dust daily safely. Breathing in building dust can make your lungs very sick over a long time. Cutting concrete blocks makes a very bad dust that we call dangerous silica. You must use water on the saw blades to keep the heavy dust down. If there is too much dust, workers must wear special filtered breathing masks. Always remember to train, test, we need to fix, repeat, for a perfectly safe site. Let us move on to the topic of loud noises on the site. Heavy hammers and huge saws create noise that damages human ears permanently. If you must shout to be heard, the working area is too loud. You must give your workers free ear protection to stop permanent hearing loss. Soft foam earplugs work very well, if you put them in correctly today. Make sure you teach the new guys how to roll the foam perfectly. Now, think about what happens when the weather gets extremely hot outside. Heat illness can kill a worker if you ignore the early warning signs. Provide plenty of cold drinking water and force workers to take long breaks. A shaded, cool tent gives everyone a good place to cool down safely. Watch your friends closely and see if they stop sweating or feel dizzy. If someone stops sweating in the hot heat, call an ambulance right away. Working in the cold winter brings very different physical challenges for us. Ice on the high steel beams makes walking highly dangerous for your team. You must clean the hard ice off or delay the work until noon. Cold hands cannot hold heavy steel tools, which causes very bad dangerous drops. Tell your hard workers to wear thick warm gloves to protect their fingers. Finally, let us review how to handle sudden emergencies on the big site. Every worker needs to know exactly where the red first aid box is. You should check the medical supplies every month to replace any used bandages. Keep the emergency phone numbers posted on a big board for everyone. If a fire starts quickly, do not try to be a brave hero. Use the fire extinguisher only if the bright flames are still very small. If the fire is very large, just run away and call the firemen. Protecting your life is always more important than saving a cheap wooden building. We want you to go home safely to your family every single night. 20. Why do we always use a spotter when a heavy truck is backing up? A spotter helps the driver see completely, because the truck has huge blind spots. The correct procedure is having someone on the ground guiding the large heavy truck. 21. What kind of shirt should a worker wear when walking near heavy machines today? They must always wear bright high-visibility shirts in orange or bright green colors. Bright colors catch the eyes of the driver, which is the correct way to stay safe. 22. What is the very first thing you do if you find a broken ladder? You must throw it away in the trash, so nobody tries to use it. Broken ladders cause very bad falls, and the correct action is always totally destroying them. 23. Why do we spray clean water on the saw when cutting big concrete blocks? The water stops the very dangerous silica dust from floating up into the air. Breathing thick dust ruins your human lungs, and water is the correct way to control it. 24. How do you know if your work area has too much loud machine noise? If you have to shout loud to talk to a friend, it is too noisy. The correct rule is that shouting means you must wear proper earplugs for total protection. 25. What is the most dangerous sign of heat stroke in a hot working worker? If the hot worker suddenly stops sweating, their body is in very deep trouble. Stopping sweating means the body is failing, so the correct response is calling an ambulance quickly. 26. Why is working outside in the cold winter dangerous for holding your heavy tools? Freezing cold hands become very weak, and you can easily drop heavy steel tools. Dropped heavy tools can crush toes, so the correct fix is wearing very thick warm gloves. 27. What is the very best way to handle a small unexpected trash fire safely? You should use a portable fire extinguisher quickly, only if the fire is very small. The correct method is spraying the base of the small flames to put them out fast. 28. Why must we always keep the heavy walking paths totally clear of any trash? Clean paths stop workers from tripping over junk, which prevents very bad painful injuries. Good daily housekeeping is the correct way to maintain a highly safe building site environment. 29. What must you do before using a portable power tool on the job site? You must look at the power cord closely, checking for any bad exposed wires. Finding broken wires early is the correct way to stop bad electrical shocks and fires. 30. Why do we keep the first aid kit boxes full of fresh new bandages? We need fresh supplies ready, so we can treat small bleeding cuts very quickly today. Having the correct medical items on hand stops simple minor injuries from becoming very bad infections. 31. What is the main reason we never paint over a broken wooden stepping ladder? Thick paint will hide the dangerous cracks, tricking a worker into climbing a broken ladder. Painting wood ladders is against the rules, and the correct choice is leaving the wood bare. 32. How can we help our workers survive a very hot summer day on site? We must give them a shaded tent, and force them to drink cold fresh water. The correct safety plan includes lots of water breaks to prevent very dangerous heat strokes. 33. Why do we never stand directly behind a big bulldozer when it is moving? The driver cannot see you back there, and they might back up over your body. Staying out of huge blind spots is the correct way to avoid getting crushed to death. 34. What should a worker do if they see an unsafe condition on the site? They must report the problem to the site supervisor immediately, so it gets fixed fast. Reporting bad dangers quickly is the correct way to protect everyone from getting terribly hurt today. 35. Why must everyone on the construction site wear strong steel-toe safety work boots? Heavy steel-toe boots protect your soft feet from falling tools and heavy building materials. Dropping heavy items is very common, so the correct footgear saves your toes from breaking. 36. How often should the site supervisor check the fire extinguishers on the building site? They must check the fire extinguishers every single month, to ensure they are fully charged. Doing a monthly visual check is the correct method to keep emergency fire tools completely ready. 37. Why do we test our team to make sure they know the safety rules? We must train, test, we need to fix, repeat, to keep everyone very safe daily. Finding out what they do not know is the correct way to stop accidents before happening. 38. What is the very first thing to do during a major building site emergency? You must immediately call the local emergency number to get professional police and ambulance help. Calling for fast professional help is the correct and most important step to save dying lives. If you want to pass easily, you can get the full complete course in the description below. Should quickly clean it up right away, so nobody slips and falls flat on their back. Oil is extremely slippery and very dangerous, so fast cleanup stops people from getting severely hurt today. If you want to pass easily, you can get the full complete course in the description below. Section 3. Welcome back to the third section of our great safety training course today. I am happy you are here to learn more about protecting your workers. We will talk about keeping tools safe and using the right safety gear. You must always watch your team to make sure they follow the rules. Let us talk about digging holes and the dangers of working in trenches. Dirt can fall very fast, crushing a worker before they can run away. We must use a strong trench box to keep the heavy dirt back. You need a safe ladder, so workers can climb out of the hole quickly. Place the ladder very close, so nobody has to walk far to escape. Never put heavy machines near the edge, because the dirt will fall in. A smart safety person must check the trench before anyone goes down inside. If the dirt looks wet and soft, do not let anyone go inside. Next, we will look at using chemicals and keeping our workers totally safe. Some strong chemicals can burn your skin or make your lungs very sick. You must give your workers special thick gloves and clear plastic face shields. Always read the safety data sheet before you open a new chemical bottle. The safety sheet tells you exactly what to do if a spill happens. If you spill a bad chemical, clean it up with the right tools. Train, test, we need to fix, repeat, is our best daily safety plan. You must wash your hands after you finish using any strong building chemicals. Now let us learn about lifting materials with strong ropes and metal chains. Cranes lift very heavy things high up in the air above the workers. You must look at the chains every day to find any bad cracks. If you see a broken metal link, throw the whole chain away quickly. Never let anyone walk under a heavy box while the crane is moving. If the rope suddenly breaks, the heavy load will fall on their heads. We use a tagline rope to guide the load safely down to the ground. A tagline keeps your hands away from the heavy crushing metal parts. We also need to think about the air inside closed small working spaces. Small spaces like deep manholes can trap bad gases that make you dizzy. You must pump fresh air into the hole before your friends climb down. Always use a gas meter to test the air at the top and the bottom. Someone must stand at the top to watch the workers down below safely. If a worker passes out, the top person must call for rescue fast. Never climb down to save them, because the bad air will kill you. Wait for the trained rescue team to bring them up with a rope. We must use safe wooden scaffolds when we paint very tall building walls. All scaffolds must sit on flat solid ground, so they do not fall. You must use strong wooden boards, with no big cracks or bad holes. Tie the scaffold to the big building, so the heavy wind does not blow it over. If it is raining hard outside, no one should work on the scaffold. Wet wooden boards are very slippery, causing workers to fall a long way. Keep the scaffold boards completely clean, to stop very bad painful tripping accidents. Safety is your main job, so keep your eyes wide open every day. 39. What must you do first, before a worker climbs into a deep trench? You must check the dirt walls, to make sure they will not fall. The correct step is inspecting the soil, so nobody gets buried under the heavy dirt today. 40. Why do we put a long ladder inside a deep hole for workers? A safe ladder gives the workers a fast way to escape from danger. The correct rule says a ladder must be very close to save lives during an accident. 41. Where should you place the heavy dirt that you dig out of the hole? You must put the dirt far away from the edge of the deep trench. Keeping weight away from the edge is correct, because it stops the trench wall from collapsing. 42. What gear do you wear when working with very strong burning liquid chemicals? You must wear thick rubber gloves and a clear plastic shield over your face. The correct gear stops the burning chemicals from splashing directly into your open human eyes. 43. Why must we pump fresh blowing air into a small closed working space? Fresh air blows the bad invisible gases away, so the workers can breathe safely. Pumping clean air is the correct way to stop workers from passing out inside a tank. 44. What should the top watcher do if a worker faints inside the deep pipe? The top watcher must call the emergency rescue team for very fast professional help. Calling for help is the correct choice, instead of jumping inside the dangerous hole yourself. 45. Why do we look at crane lifting chains before we start the morning work? We check the metal chains closely to find any bad cracks before lifting begins. Finding a bad cracked link is correct, because it stops the heavy chain from breaking unexpectedly. 46. What do we use a long tagline rope for when moving heavy boxes? We use the rope to safely guide the box without using our soft hands. The correct safety method keeps your fingers far away from crushing heavy metal building materials. 47. Why must a working tall scaffold always sit on perfectly flat and solid ground? A solid flat base stops the tall scaffold from tipping over in the wind. The correct base is perfectly strong, preventing workers from falling a very long way down. 48. What should you do right away if it starts raining hard on the scaffold? You must make all the workers climb down until the rain stops falling completely. The correct rule is stopping the work, because wet wooden boards cause very bad slipping accidents. 49. Why do we tie the tall scaffold boards securely to the big concrete building? We tie the boards to the main wall, so strong winds cannot blow them down. Securing the boards is the correct plan, keeping the entire wooden structure perfectly safe and steady. 50. How can we stop tools from falling off a scaffold onto people walking below? We must put tall wooden toe boards along the edge of the walking platform. Toe boards are the correct safety tool to stop a dropped hammer from hitting a head. 51. What must you read first before you clean up a bad toxic chemical spill? You must read the safety data sheet to learn the safest way to clean it. Reading the important paper is correct because it tells you exactly what protective gear to use. 52. Why must a competent person check the deep trench after a heavy rainstorm? Heavy rain makes the dirt very soft, which can cause a sudden deadly collapse. Rechecking the wet soil is the correct action to make sure the hole is still safe. 53. What is the biggest danger to your health when working inside an empty tank? Breathing bad poison gases is the biggest danger, which can kill a worker silently. Using a special gas meter is the correct way to find hidden bad air before entering. 54. Why do we test the air at the bottom and also at the top? We test both places closely because some heavy bad gases sink to the bottom. Testing all the different levels is correct, ensuring every single corner is safe to breathe. 55. What kind of safe ladder do you need to climb onto a tall roof? You need a tall ladder that goes 3 feet above the top roof edge. The correct ladder height gives you a safe place to hold onto while stepping off carefully. 56. Why is it very dangerous to work outside when lightning is in the sky? Hot lightning can strike a metal pole, burning the worker who is holding it. Stopping all outdoor work is the correct rule, because lightning kills people very fast without warning. 57. How do you know exactly if a new worker understands your morning safety training? You must ask them easy questions to see if they remember the important safety rules. Train, test, we need to fix, repeat, is the correct way to ensure everyone understands perfectly. If you want to pass easily, you can get the full complete course in the description below. Section 4, welcome back to Section 4 of our amazing safety training video course today. I am very happy to see you learning to keep your workers safe. Today we will talk about using hand tools and stopping bad electrical shocks. You must pay close attention so you can pass your big test easily. Let us start by talking about the small hand tools that workers use daily. Hammers and screwdrivers seem very simple, but they can hurt you badly sometimes. You must check the wooden handles every morning before you swing the hammer. If the handle is loose or cracked, the heavy metal head will fly off. A flying metal hammer head can hit someone and cause a terrible head injury. Throw broken tools away immediately, so nobody else tries to use them today. Always use the right tool for the job to avoid silly dangerous accidents. Do not use a screwdriver to hit things, because it is not a hammer. Now we will look at using electricity safely on the big building site today. Electricity is an invisible killer that can stop your human heart very fast. You must look at your orange extension cords to find any bad cut wires. If you see the shiny bare wire, you must cut the cord and trash it. Never run a power cord through a puddle, because water and electricity do not mix. Always use a ground fault circuit interrupter when you plug your heavy tools in. This special device shuts off the power quickly to save your life from shock. Let us talk about wearing personal safety gear to protect your soft human body. Safety glasses protect your eyes from flying dust and sharp pieces of flying metal. If you lose your eyesight on the job, you can never get it back. Make sure your safety glasses fit tightly, so nothing slips behind the clear plastic. You must wash your clear safety glasses daily, so you can see your work perfectly. Heavy work boots keep your feet perfectly safe when you walk on rusty nails. A thick steel toe protects your foot if a heavy concrete block falls down. Next we will discuss moving heavy materials safely to protect your weak human back. When you lift a heavy wooden box, you must bend your strong knees down. Do not bend your back over the box, because you will pull a muscle. If a box is extremely heavy, ask a strong friend to help you lift it. Using a push cart is much better than carrying heavy items in your arms. Train, test, we need to fix, repeat, is the perfect way to prevent injuries. Let us quickly review the safe way to use a tall folding step ladder. You must open the ladder completely and lock the metal arms in the middle. Never stand on the very top step, because you will lose your body balance. Keep your belt buckle inside the ladder rails, so you do not lean too far. If you lean too far to the side, the whole ladder will tip over. Always hold the side rails with one hand when you climb up or down. Finally, we will talk about keeping the work area clean and safe for everyone. Trash and wooden scraps left on the floor will cause very bad tripping accidents. You must clean up the messy floor area multiple times throughout your long day. Good housekeeping proves that you care deeply about keeping your team safe from harm. 58. Why must you check the wooden hammer handle before you swing it hard today? You must check it to ensure the heavy metal head does not fly off. A loose flying metal hammer head can easily hit a worker and kill them. 59. What is the very best thing to do with a badly broken hand tool? You must put a red warning tag on it and remove it immediately today. Throwing bad tools away is the correct method to stop accidental dangerous tool injuries. 60. Why do we never use a simple screwdriver to hit things like a hammer? A screwdriver is extremely weak, and it will break if you hit things hard. Using the wrong hand tool is very dangerous, causing sharp metal pieces to fly. 61. What must you do quickly if you find an electrical cord with bare wires? You must cut the bad end off entirely and throw the cord in trash. Getting rid of damaged power cords is correct, because bare wires cause deadly shocks. 62. Why do we keep all long electrical power cords out of dirty water puddles? Water moves electricity very quickly, which can easily shock a worker walking near it. Keeping wet water and power cords apart is the correct way to stop electrocution. 63. How does a ground fault circuit interrupter protect you on a wet job site? It shuts off the electrical power instantly, before the dangerous shock stops your heart. This smart safety device is the correct tool to use near wet working areas. 64. Why must you always wear clear safety glasses while using a spinning power saw? Safety glasses keep the flying sharp wood chips from scratching your soft human eyes. Protecting your eyes is the correct daily habit, because human vision cannot be replaced. 65. What is the main safety reason for wearing heavy steel toe boots on site? The hard steel toe stops your foot bones from breaking if heavy things fall. Dropping heavy materials is very common, making strong protective boots the correct clothing choice. 66. How should you position your human body to lift a very heavy building block? You must bend your strong knees down fully, keeping your weak back perfectly straight. Bending your knees is the correct lifting method to completely prevent painful back muscle pulls. 67. What is the safest choice to make if a wooden box is too heavy? You should ask a healthy, strong friend to help you carry the heavy box. Asking your team for lifting help is correct, so nobody gets a bad injury. 68. Why do we use rolling metal push carts instead of carrying heavy equipment boxes? Rolling push carts take the heavy weight away, saving your tired back from pain. Using helpful lifting machines is the correct way to keep older workers totally healthy. (69) What must you do with the metal locking arms on a folding step ladder? You must push them down completely straight to securely lock the open ladder legs. Locking the metal arms is the correct step to stop the ladder from folding. 70. Why is it against the safety rules to stand on the very top step? You will easily lose your body balance and fall hard to the ground below. Staying off the very top step is correct because you have nothing to hold. 71. How do you safely keep your body balance while working on a tall ladder? You must keep your heavy belt buckle perfectly between the two side ladder rails. Keeping your body centered is the correct way to prevent a tipping ladder accident. 72. Why is it very important to hold the ladder rails with one free hand? Holding the side rail tightly gives you balance, so you do not fall backward. 3 points of contact is the correct rule for climbing any safe wooden ladder. 73. What happens if you leave messy trash and wood scraps lying on the floor? A worker walking past will trip over the junk and hurt their body badly. Keeping floors totally clear of trash is correct, preventing very simple dangerous tripping accidents. 74. How often should you clean up the dirty working area on the busy site? You must clean the work area multiple times throughout the entire long working day. Frequent cleaning is the correct housekeeping method, keeping the entire site safe for everyone. 75. Why do clean and organized working floors prove that you are a good supervisor? Clean working floors clearly show your team that you care deeply about their safety. Good clean housekeeping is the correct management tool to build a very safe culture. 76. How do we quickly verify that workers truly understand the new morning safety rules? We must ask them simple related questions to test their actual basic safety knowledge. Train, test, we need to fix, repeat, is the correct system for safety success. If you want to pass easily, you can get the full complete course in the description below. Section 5. Welcome to the 5th part of our Complete Safety Supervisor video course today. You are doing a great job learning all these important safety rules so far. Today we will talk about fire safety and keeping our driving paths totally clear. We will also learn how to use cranes and heavy trucks without getting hurt. Let us discuss the simple ways to stop a bad fire on the site. Trash fires start very fast when someone drops a hot cigarette in the paper. You must have red fire extinguishers hanging nearby, so anyone can grab them fast. Every worker must know where the extinguishers are and how to use them safely. We teach our workers the simple pass method to put out small burning fires. Pull the pin, aim at the base, squeeze the handle, and sweep side to side. Never try to fight a big raging fire, because the smoke will kill you. If the fire is too big, run outside and call the local fire department. Keep all the walking and driving paths clear, so the fire truck can enter. If you block the main road with wood, the big fire truck cannot help. Next we will learn about moving heavy building steel with a large tall crane. Cranes are very powerful, but they can fall over if the dirt is soft. The crane driver must put the metal outrigger legs down, on solid flat ground. Never lift a heavy load, if the wind is blowing very hard outside today. The heavy wind will push the spinning load, and make the crane tip over. You must use strong thick ropes, to safely tie the heavy load down tightly. Always check the lifting ropes for bad cuts, before the morning work begins daily. If the heavy rope looks damaged, throw it in the trash bin right away. Never stand directly under the heavy spinning load, while the crane lifts it up. If the lifting rope breaks suddenly, the heavy load will crush you to death. Now we will look at backing up heavy dump trucks, in the dirt yard. Heavy dump trucks have huge blind spots, exactly where the back wheels are located. The truck driver cannot see a small worker, walking closely behind the big truck. You must always use a spotter, when a heavy dump truck is backing up. The spotter uses clear hand signals, to tell the truck driver where to go. Workers must wear bright-colored safety shirts, so the truck driver sees them clearly. If the driver loses sight of the spotter, the driver must stop the truck. Train, test, we need to fix, repeat, keeps our team safe around heavy machines. Let us quickly review how to safely dig holes, and work inside deep trenches. Dirt falls very fast without warning, and it can bury a worker alive instantly. We use a strong metal trench box, to hold the heavy dirt wall back. The trench box saves your life, if the surrounding soft dirt suddenly collapses today. A competent person must check the trench dirt, early every morning before work begins. They must look for wet soil, and big cracks along the top dirt edge. Keep all the heavy digging machines, far away from the edge of the hole. The heavy weight of the machine, will easily cause the dirt to fall in. Always put a tall ladder inside the hole, so workers can climb out fast. The ladder must be placed very close, to the workers inside the deep trench. Safety is the most important part of your daily job, as a good supervisor. Always watch your team closely, to ensure they follow these important safety rules. 77. Why do we teach the pass method, to all workers on the building site? We teach this simple method, so workers know exactly how to use fire extinguishers. Knowing the correct steps to operate an extinguisher helps stop small fires very quickly. 78. What should a worker do immediately, if they see a very large blazing fire? They must run away to a safe place, and call the local fire department. The correct action is evacuating safely, because large smoke clouds can kill you fast. 79. Why must we always keep the main dirt roads completely clear of heavy materials? We keep the roads clear, so the big fire truck can drive in quickly. The correct rule is maintaining open access, for fast professional emergency vehicle response times. 80. What happens if a large heavy crane lifts a load on very soft dirt? The heavy crane will sink into the dirt and completely tip over on its side. Placing the outrigger legs on solid ground is the correct way to maintain balance. 81. Why do we stop lifting heavy steel loads when the wind blows very hard? Strong wind pushes the heavy load sideways, which can cause the crane to fall. The correct safety rule is waiting for calm weather, to prevent deadly crane accidents. 82. What is the very first thing you do, if you find a cut lifting rope? You must throw the badly damaged rope away, in the trash bin immediately today. Discarding cut ropes is the correct action, because a broken rope drops heavy loads. 83. Why is it strictly forbidden to walk directly under a hanging heavy crane load? If the strong lifting rope breaks, the heavy load will fall and crush you. The correct safety habit is standing far away from the heavy suspended metal objects. 84. Why do heavy dump trucks need a spotter when they are backing up slowly? The spotter helps the driver see, because big trucks have very huge blind spots. Using a ground guide is the correct way to stop trucks from running over workers. 85. What must the truck driver do quickly if they cannot see the walking spotter? The driver must stop the heavy truck completely until they see the spotter again. The correct rule is stopping all movement when you lose visual contact safely. 86. Why do ground workers wear bright green or bright orange safety shirts daily? Bright colored shirts make the workers easily visible to the busy heavy machine drivers. High visibility clothing is the correct gear to prevent dangerous heavy equipment run-over accidents. 87. What is the main safety purpose of placing a metal box inside a trench? The metal box holds the heavy dirt back, preventing a deadly sudden dirt collapse. Using a trench shield is the correct method to protect workers deep underground. 88. Who is legally allowed to inspect the deep trench before morning work begins? Only a specially trained competent person is allowed to officially inspect the deep trench. The correct person must have advanced training to correctly identify very dangerous soil conditions. 89. What specific danger signs is the competent person looking for near the trench? They look closely for very wet soil and large cracks near the top edge. 'Finding soft wet dirt early is the correct way to predict a dangerous collapse. 90. Why must we keep the heavy digging excavator far away from the hole edge? The heavy machine weight will push the dirt down, causing the trench to collapse. The correct rule keeps heavy pressure away, stopping the weak trench walls from failing. 91. Why do we put a tall escape ladder directly inside the deep dirt hole? The tall ladder gives the trapped workers a very fast way to climb out. Providing a fast escape route is the correct action to save lives during emergencies. 92. How close should the tall escape ladder be to the working men below? The ladder must be placed very close, so workers do not run far away. The correct distance is 25 feet maximum for extremely fast emergency trench escapes. 93. How do you fix a worker who keeps making the same safety mistake daily? You must train, test, we need to fix, repeat, until they understand the safe way. Retraining bad habits is the correct method to build a truly safe working culture. 94. What is the most important part of your job as the site safety supervisor? Your most important job is ensuring every worker goes home safely to their family. Protecting human life is the correct primary goal, above all other building project tasks. 95. Why do we practice the fire escape plan with the workers every few months? We practice so everyone knows exactly where to run, without panicking during real fires. Running emergency drills is the correct way to keep the entire working team calm. If you want to pass easily, you can get the full complete course in the description below. Section 6. Welcome back to the sixth and final part of our great safety training course today. I am not affiliated with the official exam board or testing agency in any way. These are not leaked questions from the actual exam, but they are rigorously aligned with the official exam curriculum. These questions come with full explanations, which will help you get your certification on the first try. Please leave your suggestions in the comment section below to help me improve my lessons. Today we will finish our big safety journey and review some very important final rules. We will talk about keeping your eyes open and finding hidden dangers on the site. You are the best safety supervisor now, and your team really needs your daily help. Your main goal is making sure everyone goes home to their loving families every night. Let us review the rules for working high up, near the edge of a tall roof. Falling is the most common way workers die on big building construction sites every year. You must always wear a strong safety harness when you work near a dangerous drop. Tie your harness rope to a very strong anchor that can easily hold a heavy car. Never tie your safety rope to a weak thin pipe, because it will break and fall. Always inspect your personal harness completely before you put it on your body today. If you find a deep cut in the nylon straps, you must throw the harness away. Do not try to sew a broken harness strap, because it will not hold you up. Next, we will review how to handle sudden accidents. When a worker gets hurt very badly, you must stay very calm and call the emergency medical team for fast professional help. Do not move the badly hurt worker unless the building is actively on fire today. Moving a worker with a broken back can cause terrible permanent damage to their weak body. Always keep your first aid kit fully stocked with plenty of fresh, clean white bandages. Write down everything that happened during the bad accident so you can make a good report. We use accident reports to learn what went wrong and stop it from happening ever again. Train, test, we need to fix, repeat, is how we constantly improve our daily safety culture. Let us talk about moving large steel beams and keeping our soft hands totally safe today. Heavy steel beams can easily crush your soft fingers if you are not paying close attention. Always wear very thick leather work gloves when you touch rough metal building materials daily. Keep your hands far away from the pinch points, where two heavy metal objects perfectly meet. If a heavy load is swinging in the strong wind, use a long rope to guide it. We call this a tagline, and it keeps your body far away from terrible danger. You must also protect your hard workers from the hot sun during the long summer days. Provide plenty of cold drinking water and force everyone to take long breaks in cool shade. Heat stroke is a bad silent killer that makes workers very confused and sick very fast. If someone suddenly stops sweating in the hot sun, you must call the ambulance right away. Finally, remember that good communication is the true secret to a highly safe building site. Listen to your workers carefully when they tell you about a dangerous hidden site hazard today. Never yell at a worker for reporting a bad problem, or they will stop telling you entirely. Thank them for finding the bad danger, and fix the physical problem right away safely today. Leading by a good example clearly shows everyone that you care deeply about their daily health. I know you will pass your safety test easily, because you have studied very hard lately. Let us talk about hazardous chemicals one more time, before you take your big final test. Every chemical bottle must have a clear warning label that everyone can quickly read and understand. If a label falls off the smooth plastic bottle, you must replace it with a new one. You cannot guess what is inside a dirty bottle, because the liquid might burn your skin. Always keep the chemical safety data sheets inside a bright binder in the main front office. When a new chemical arrives on the site, you must strictly teach your team how to use site. Next, let us review basic daily site housekeeping and exactly why a clean site is so safe. Piles of dirty trash hide sharp, rusty nails that will quickly poke right through your thick boots. You must clean the messy work area completely, multiple times throughout the entire long busy day. A perfectly clean job site clearly shows everyone that you are a true professional supervisor today. Keep your walking paths totally free of tripping hazards, like messy thick orange power cords today. Run the long power cords up high along the wall, so nobody trips over them heavily. We must also check our heavy power tools daily to find any bad broken safety metal guards. Never take the shiny metal guard off a power saw, even if it makes fast cutting easier. Taking the safety guard off is against the law and causes very bad bloody lost fingers. You are now fully ready to take your test and become a great certified safety supervisor. 96. What is the most common cause of deadly accidents on a large building construction site? Falling from a very high roof or scaffold causes the most deaths every single year. Falls are the biggest danger for workers, so using strong harnesses is the correct prevention method. 97. What must you do before putting your safety harness on, early in the busy morning? You must inspect the nylon straps very closely to find any bad cuts or tears. Checking the gear finds dangerous damage early, which is the correct way to save your life. 98. Why do we never tie a safety fall rope to a weak thin water pipe? A weak pipe will easily break off, dropping you hard onto the solid ground below. The correct anchor point must be extremely strong, easily holding the heavy weight of a car. 99. What should you do right away if you find a deep cut in your harness? You must throw the badly damaged harness away, so nobody tries to wear it today. Getting rid of broken safety gear completely is the correct action to stop bad falls. 100. How should you treat a badly hurt worker who fell off a tall wooden ladder? You must leave them perfectly still on the ground and quickly call for an ambulance. The correct rule is never moving him, because moving can make a broken back much worse. 101. Why do we always write a detailed written report after a site accident happens today? We write reports to understand exactly what went wrong and prevent it from happening again. Finding the hidden root cause of the accident is the correct way to improve overall safety. If you want to pass easily, you can get the full complete course in the description below.